Deutsche Bank faces action over $20 billion Russian money laundering scheme.
Here's a summary of the article.
Germany's troubled Deutsche Bank faces fines, legal action and the possible prosecution of senior management because of its role in a $20 billion Russian money laundering scheme, a confidential internal report seen by The Guardian says. Deutsche Bank was used to launder the money via its corresponding banking network, effectively allowing illegal Russian payments to be funneled to the US, the European Union and Asia. As part of its investigation, Deutsche Bank sent 149 suspicious activity reports to the National Crime Agency in London. Similar disclosures of potential money laundering transactions were made to authorities in the US and elsewhere, with 30 private and corporate Deutsche Bank clients reported. The New York Department of Financial Services fined the bank $425 million over the same case, in which rubles were converted into dollars via fake trades on behalf of VIP Russian clients. The bank is under investigation for its role in Europe's biggest banking scandal, involving Denmark's Danske Bank. Deutsche Bank said it could not comment on potential or ongoing investigations, or on any matters regarding our regulators.
This post received a score of 31,968, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
There is hardly a high-value crime in Europe that doesn't involve Deutsche Bank. How do they get away with this?
When a government or a body like the EU levies gigantic fines on banks like Deutsche Bank or HSBC, it's usually not accompanied by any criminal action against senior management. So in a way, these huge fines are simply how governments can legally receive the cut percentage of the profits that are made from mafia, drug money laundering. Deutsche Bank has been busted time and time again for money laundering, and simply pays very large fines. The fact that these banks are allowed to continue these practices over decades makes it difficult to not conclude that governments are complicit or at the least turning a blind eye. Not to mention that the fines are usually quite a deal, a bit less than what they made from laundering the money. It's simply a cost of doing business.
From Wiki, governments are unable to actually hand out the punishments those people and institutions deserve without also risking a big event in the global financial system. It would take coordinated action of, say, at least the US government, the EU, and all the major European countries to have a chance at solving that problem without causing too much damage. And that's not gonna happen anytime soon, as the political will to do that is essentially zero. And individual governments risking the damage and taking action will just hand more power to the foreign competitors.
Big banks are too big to fail, and it is essentially that when they get issued a banking license, they get issued a license to launder, because then it becomes an issue with saving the system. For the majority of the people, we are scrutinized and presumed guilty for laundering and lose our banking privileges. Edit, I am arguing that banks being considered too big to fail gives them a pseudo-immunity from the law and are simply allowed to do what they do because they can pay their way out of it and still make profit. If shit really hits the fan, the taxpayer would foot the bill to bail them out.
So jail the executives who oversaw the criminality. The next person to take their spot will think twice about running afoul of the law.
Executives are always insulated by at least 2 layers of plausible deniability. There will always be licensed lawyers, accountants who are paid big bonuses for the big deals they sign off on. Execs only care about the bottom line and don't want to know the details, because then they can be testified against if the lower-ranking guys flip.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.